Morning. Hi everyone. I'm in my kitchen again today. I have this great natural light this morning coming from the window. I wish I could do more videos in my house, but my dogs are just, you heard how loud they were the last time, so I'm trying not to wake them up. Um, Last night I had a really weird experience. There was this guy that was walking down the street, and I stopped him to ask him. I really wanted to I kind of thought maybe he was one of the people who stole the stuff from my truck, but I wanted to ask him in a way that if he had seen anybody around town, and I described some of the stuff that I had and that was stolen, and I was trying to explain to him that I wanted to work out some kind of reward or something, or I don't have a lot of money, but there's things that I don't know, I was thinking of ways to give this person a reward, or if they would want to wait until I get financially a little bit better, I would do something, to help them, for helping me. And, I thought he would be interested in that because he doesn't have a car. He lives with this couple of people that they've been squatting in an abandoned house. And I had driven out of that house a couple of times. The morning that it happened, I drove around that house and around that area. There's several houses around that area that I drove around I drove all looking through the dumpsters and everything, so a lot of people probably saw me that morning. Well, it was early in the morning, so probably not a lot of people didn't see me. I don't. But anyway, I was trying to talk to this guy, and he was so high, he couldn't understand me. He was starting to become defensive, and it was a little bit scary, and I was trying to back away from it. I was in my car, my truck, whenever I noticed he was walking behind me, and I turned around to look to see if he was going to try to if he was coming towards the car or anything, and he wasn't. So I got out of the driver's side, and I asked him, "Hey, can I talk to you for just a minute? I want to talk to you about something." And he immediately came over, and I was trying to distance him between me and him because he kind of got kind of close, and I was trying to back up away from him. And I started talking to him, and he kind of listened at first, but then he got real defensive, and then he started acting weird and strange. And then he started talking to his shoulder like he was talking to a police radio. And he told me he was a deputy sheriff at this other town close by. So I realized he was higher than a kite. And he started getting real defensive. And I told him, no, I'm not accusing you. I'm just saying, I know you walk around. I know you meet a lot of different people. I've seen you talking to people. And he was trying to defend that. I say, no, and you can't reason with somebody who's high. You can't talk to them. It's really difficult. And I was just saying that I want to give you a reward if you find my stuff. And he got real defensive about it. And normally a person who is on drugs, they're looking for money, or something like that to do more drugs. And he, instead of being interested in it, he got defensive about it. I was on the driver's side of my car. Instead, he said, "Are you talking about this car? This car?" I was like, "Yeah." And he went around the car to the side door where they broke in. So that to me was kind of bizarre that he did that. And then I kept trying to calm him down and say, "I'm not accusing you. No. I know you didn't do it. I know you didn't do it." But I kind of think maybe he did. But I was trying to get his trust. And I was like, "I want to give you a reward for helping me, If you find my stuff and you bring it to me, I'll give you money." And he goes, "Well, I can't remember exactly. This lasted for about 5 minutes." And I was just trying to break through that part of him being defensive. I'm sorry, I'm holding this camera with my hand. It's getting tired, but... And I know this was a stupid thing for me to do, but, I just really want my book back. And they stole the phone. I don't know if I had mentioned that earlier. They stole the old phone that I got before I had this, and I really wanted that back. It's not like a great phone, but I wanted to use it for a backup phone in case this one messed up or anything. It was still okay. It could still work and everything. It had just very small storage. And that's why I had gotten a better phone. But anyway, he got defensive, and then he started saying something about, well, I know you just moved in this house. This was an abandoned house. I was like, no, I've been living here for years. And he goes, I thought you said you weren't from here. I was like, yes, I am. I mean, I'm not from here. I'm from that other town, but I'm not giving him personal information about me. But I think he was talking about the people that he lives with, and that he lives with another couple in this other house. So, and that house was abandoned, and another homeless couple was living in it before these people moved in. Because I had given the other homeless couple my bike after I got my car. The guy came by asking if he could work for the bike, and because I had chained it up on the side of the house and I wasn't using it, and he said, I noticed it's been there for a couple months and I don't think you use it, you know. You have a car and I don't think you're using it. I've never seen you ride it. And I felt bad for him. I felt like that's, what I went through. And so I just gave it to him, and it had flats on it and everything, and it needed a little work. And I just gave it to him. It was old, I had been using it for several years, and that couple moved out, and then this other couple moved in, and I noticed that I guess the other couple left, and I had talked to that guy, the homeless person, before the couple that I gave the bike to, and I was telling them, there's not any resources in this little town. There's nothing here to help you, and the churches aren't very good. There's not much. Not that they're not very good. I don't know. They just don't have an outreach program here, and there's nothing out here. And I told him the city over, 10 miles from here, there's, 250,000 people in it, and there's all kinds of avenues and everything that they can help you with, and they could probably get you housing and all kinds of stuff. I was telling them, and he was like, yeah, that's what people have been telling me. Well, maybe I'm thinking about it or something like that. And so that's the limited contact I had with the couple before. And then they left for, I guess, for a month or two, couple months. Then I noticed the house was being occupied again by these other people, and I've noticed it for a couple months. And I've seen that guy walking up and down. He hasn't been here for the whole time that I've been living in this little town. Just the recent few months he's been here. And I kept trying to question him, and then it just broke down, Well, let me say one thing. He kind of confessed to it. He said, well, I don't know, maybe I can pay you money for it. I don't know. And I was saying, that confused me. I was like, no, I was going to pay you. He goes, well, I don't know if I can replace your stuff. I don't know if it's there. And he kind of pointed over to where the house was. So then in my mind I was like, he's so high, I don't know what he's really, if he's confessing to stealing it and that he feels guilty, and because I had already been talking to him for about 5 minutes about my stolen stuff, and he was getting more and more defensive, so I think maybe that was coming out as guilt. But he's high, but he did tell me about the people, the way he inferred that I had moved into this abandoned house. He was talking about the couple that he lived with. They moved into that abandoned house, so, his mind wasn't working right, but he did tell me something that was true, about the people he lived with. They did move into that house. But, when they're high on drugs, you can't, they're out of touch of reality. And so, I don't know if he's the one, but he's one of the suspects that I described to the police. There was another guy that was a lot taller that was lumbering around. I told him, I used that term, he kind of lumbers around. He walks kind of forward and he kind of swings his arms, and he's much bigger. But this was the other guy, the smaller guy, the shorter guy. He's taller than me, but he's not quite 6 foot or over 6 foot. This was the other guy I was explaining to the police. And I've never spoken to him. I've only seen him, walking on the streets. I've seen him walking all around town and in the daylight and daytime. And he comes down this street at night because he lived in that abandoned house. He passed by my house several times a day. And, I don't know. And, well, after that, he left. He got a little agitated. And I just jumped in my truck and locked the doors. And I waited for him to walk down to that house. And then I wasn't sure if he lived there, but I know I had seen him going around that house and to that house before. And that's why I drove around that house that morning. I drove around that whole neighborhood that whole morning, kind of looking for that guy, because I didn't know specifically, specifically where he lived, but I know that in that general area, he probably lived in further down a few blocks. And then, okay, after I jumped in my truck, locked the doors, waited for him, he did go to that house, and he was talking to somebody kind of, this is on a corner house, and I could see what was going on, because I live on the corner house on my block, and it was down 2 blocks down, not the next street over, the next street, but I could still see him. And I drove down there, and he walked up to the porch, and then there was a guy standing on the street, and I guess that guy was talking to him, telling him that I was messing with him or doing something. And I called out to the guy, hey, can I talk to you for just a minute, And I told him, I was trying to talk to your friend there. The guy came over to the car, and I had the window up a little bit, and I had the door locked, and I didn't have anything in, had my foot on the brake. I was going to peel out if anything happened. And I know it's not smart, not brave, but, in that moment, sometimes you do things. But anyway, I said, I need to talk to you for just a minute. And I told him, I was trying to talk to your friend there. I wasn't trying to harass him, and I didn't mean to upset him. I was trying to explain something to him, but he's high. He's very high, and he's not understanding what I'm saying. And the guy goes, kind of, was like, I don't care, he can do his own thing, I don't care. And I explained to the guy the whole situation, the robbery, my theft, and everything, and all my belongings and everything. And I was telling him, I was trying to offer him a reward or money if he found my stuff. If somebody would find it, I would give them a reward. I really want, and I explained to him about the book. So that was the main thing I want back. And he just kept looking around, like, he wasn't exactly paying attention to me. He was hearing me, but he was like, kind of looking around, like, so that kind of, I don't know, that kind of behavior, plus, I'm a total stranger just walking up to him telling this stuff. So I don't know if he thinks that maybe I know he stole it, and that they all took in the goodies they got out of my car. And I told him about the phone. I told him, that phone's crappy. I would buy that person a newer phone. I just want my manuscript back. I'd buy my much better phone if I could just get my manuscript back, and maybe a couple of other little things. They took my glasses. Why would somebody take my glasses? I explained to him. And there's a couple of other things too, that like a little makeup purse that had a bunch of keys in it. And they're like random keys. Most of them are either to little locks. And I put them all in that little baggie just because I had them scattered all over the house. And I have a lot of locks that I've used for storage units and other items, chaining bikes, all different things. And I told him about that baggie of keys, and I told him it goes to a jewelry box that, old jewelry box, and all the others are useless. They don't go to anything in my house or nothing, it's just random stuff. And I told him there's some personal identification things probably that were in the other purse, and I just don't want anybody using it, or, I've already had my identity stolen once. And I was just trying to, like, give the guy, like, because I know that they're homeless, they're squatting in that house. I've seen him walking around town, and he's got a girlfriend that lives in there with him, or wife or something. And I was telling him, I would give a reward that's worth a lot more than what the thief took. I told him, if you just want to spread it around or something like that. And I told him very specific items that if they've shown people, and I'm offering a reward, the people who've seen that might take the money, want the reward that I'm giving them, and, out the person who stole. I just put that seed in his mind that if they have been showing anything or trying to sell any of my stuff, that other people know about it, that I will give them a bigger reward for returning it back to me. Because a lot of that stuff is completely useless. I told him that makeup bag's not worth anything. I would give them $20 for it if they gave it back to me. And the only reason I would do that is so I would know I could get information of where they stole it, over a crappy little makeup bag. And I told him, you know, if you're giving out, not him specifically, but I said if the thief is giving out stuff or just thinking it was worthless, some of that worthless stuff, I might pay $10 or $20 for it, and they'll be much more wanting that, especially for the habit that they have. They're more likely to turn on that person. And he was like, well, I'll see what I can do, like that. And he tapped my car, and then he just turned around and walked off. I was like, okay, thank you. So, I don't know. That just came out of my desperation. I know it sounded so stupid and so dumb, but honestly, if somebody did return like any little object from there, worthless, like I have a tube of like lip gloss and chapstick that I would recognize. If they would tell me who took it or where they got it from, I'd give them $20 just so I'd have the information, you know, that I could actually give to the police. I mean, I know they're not going to do anything about this homeless couple. They've got all kinds of homeless roaming people, and they don't really bother people in this town. The police don't, unless you're breaking the law. And it would make it sound, I'm white and they're Hispanic, and so I don't want any kind of issue like that, because I don't want it to make it sound like that, you know. This white girl's going around accusing all the Hispanic people. That's not. So I haven't brought it to the police. If I got more information, I would, because I would want to report it as, you know, an actual crime or something, and that, you know, that I have proof or something, not based on what they look like or something like that. So I can't really tell the police anything. I mean, this happens a lot to a lot of people. You find suspects, but you can't really, you don't have anything to really tell them, oh, I think this person took it because the way they acted, you know, and that's not enough, you know, that's very vague. You know, like when I was describing the suspects to the police, I gave them a vague description, and I told her, she asked me what race they were, and I was like, I don't know, I couldn't even tell you. Even though I thought they were white or Hispanic, but I didn't get up close enough to them. I just didn't want to put a race on them, because I wasn't for sure, and I'm not going to blame, you know, people according just to things that I'm not sure about, you know. I just didn't have enough information, but I saw the guy walking by, and I knew that was the guy, one of the guys that I was describing to the police. And the police did say they were going to send units around to patrol my area for the next 2 weeks. I have not seen a single cop. And I slept in my truck that night. I was so obsessed with it. I made a plan, and it's probably a really stupid plan. God, the stupid things you do sometimes, you know, and stayed up all night sitting in the back of my truck waiting for somebody to, I left the passenger door unlocked. And I don't want to say the rest of what my plan was, but it was really stupid. Okay. Thank you. I'll see y'all later.